This is question number 18 on the June 2014 calculator paper. This question says Katie invests £200 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest, that's really important, at an annual rate of 3.3% for the first year and 1.5% for the second year. Work out the total amount of money in Katie's account at the end of 2 years. Okay, so you should be familiar with compound interest. You should be familiar with how we work this out. In this particular case, for the first year, the interest rate is 3.3%. So the multiplier that you're going to use, and you should know how I've gotten to this, is 1 point. Now, if it was 3%, it would be 1.03. So because it's 3.3%, it's 1.033. That's my multiplier for the 3.3%. I'm going to use a similar logic to work out a multiplier for the 1.5%. If it was 1%, it would have been 1.01, but it's 1.5%, so it's 1.015. So that's what we're going to do. Now, she invested money altogether for 2 years. The first year, it's going to be 3.3%. The second year, it's going to be 1.5%. And she invests £200 altogether. So we have 200 times my first multiplier for the first year, 1.033, and it's just 1 year. So I'm going to put that to the power of 1 times, and because it's 2 years altogether, the 1.5%, which multiplier is going to be 1.015, that's for another 1 year. Now that's what I need to work out to find the answer to this question. Now remember, 1%, the power of 1 means nothing at all. It doesn't change the value in any way. So I'm simply going to do 200 times 1.033 times 1.015. Okay. If the question had more than 2 years and different year groups, then those powers would have been different. Okay, let's work this out. I'm going to do 200 times 1.033 times 1.015, and that's equal to 209. 209, and so just that you can see it all, 699. Because we're working in money, I'm going to round it to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to turn that into 20970. Okay, and that's what I'm going to write in my answer space. Okay, make sure you can do this. This is a pretty straightforward question. And if you're doing the higher paper and aiming for one of the top grades, you should be able to do compound interest. Okay, looking at part B, let's read the question and see what they ask. The question says, Katie travels to work by train. The cost of a weekly train ticket increases by 12.5% to 225. Now the 2 is important, so that means the 225 is the increase already. Katie's weekly pay increases by 5% to 535.50. And part B, there's a star next to it, so there's marks for quality of written communication. They said compare the increase in the amount of money Katie has to pay for her weekly train ticket with the increase in her weekly pay. Okay, so we're going to try to work out how much the train ticket has increased and how much her pay has increased. So I'm going to actually split this bit of the page into 2 sections. And on one side, I'm going to work out the increase in her train ticket. So I'm going to put train here. And on this side, I'll do her pay. Now, what I know is that her train ticket increased in price by 12.5%. So the original price of the train ticket was 100%. It increased by 12.5%. And altogether, that's 112.5%. that 225 is the price after the increase. So 112.5% is £225. I'm going to work out what 1% is. To do that, I need to divide 225 by 112.5. If I get my calculator and do that, 225 divided by 112.5, the answer is 2. Okay, so if 1% is 2, then 100% is going to be 2 times 100, which is 200. And remember, this is money we're working in, £200. So that was the original price of her train ticket. So the increase is going to be £225, which is the new price of a train ticket. Take away the original price of a train ticket. The increase is £25. Let's do the same type of working for her pay. Now her pay went up by 5%. If I do the same thing, her original pay was 100% plus an increase of 5%. That's 105%. So 105% is her new pay, which is $535.50. I'm going to work out 1% by dividing 535.50 by 105. If I get my calculator and do that, 535.50 divided by 105, and that gives me 5.1. So if 1% is 5.1, 100% is going to be 5.1 times 100, which is £510. Okay, so that's the original price of the original pay that she was getting before her pay increase. So her increase in pay was going to be a new pay, $535.50. Take away 510. Again, I'm just going to use the calculator to be sure. 535.50. Take away 510, and that gives me £25.50. 25.50. So I need to now write a sentence to get my quality of communication mark. Let's read the question once again. Compare the increase in the amount of money Kate has to pay for her weekly train ticket with the increase in her weekly pay. And her increase in her weekly pay was more than her increase in the price of her train ticket. So I'm going to write exactly that. The increase in Kate's weekly pay was more than the increase in the cost of her train ticket. Okay, you need to make sure you do write a sentence to compare these two values. The calculations are detailed, there are quite a lot of them. You need to make sure you do it all and you indicate it clearly in order to get full marks in it. This is a question which if you are aiming for top grade, you should be able to get and get full marks in it.